In the wrestling world, the people are represented by two separate but unequally important groups. The wrestlers and bookers, who literally do all the hard work, and the fans, who endlessly nitpick and overanalyze everything they do. These are their stories.
Hey! It's Warhorse, and you need to shut your mouth, open your eyes, and clean out your ears, because it's time to listen to the Raw and Order podcast. That's right, they're bringing you the best in all that meaty podcasty goodness in one, what is it, an hour? Two? Who cares? Who gives a shit? You need to listen to it right now, or else Warhorse is gonna, I don't know, roll your ass!
Welcome to another episode of Raw and Order, the Wrestling Booking Unit, the only wrestling podcast on the planet currently sponsored by Factor. Man, that's right, Factor, right up there. See it up there? You can, follow the link in the description, or you can go to go.factor75.com and enter that code that appears up there, which is Factor SE13652. I had to look at it because it's not easy for me to remember. That's why the link's important. To save 60% off your first box. I am your host, Detective Mark Sparks, and I'm joined, as always, by my partners in crime fighting. Starting off, District Attorney Vincent Kayfabe. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm excited.
Yeah, excited.
Yeah, you know what? All the bullshit aside, this has been a hell of a week in wrestling.
It has. There's been really good stuff happening in wrestling. Of course, we're going to talk about probably the biggest sort of news, sort of back and forth news quite a bit here in a second. First off, let's bring in our other host joining us from up north in the Great White North. It's JLB. What's going on, man? How are you?
It goes good. Another exciting week in wrestling. Still amped from that AEW Rampage Street Fight women's match. Total bonkers.
It was indeed nuts. It was indeed.
And then all the,
nuts.
WWE drama thing following that is a whole fun, crazy shindig.
Yeah.
So
I'm most excited to hear Bray Wyatt say that he's me. Because he said he was everything else. He even said he was Uncle Howdy. And he got Sister Abigail by Uncle Howdy, so
yeah.
At some point he's gonna be like, I am D.A. Vincent Kayfabe.
I am the Walrus. Wait, no, that's the penis.
That's copyright, damn it! I can't sell the company now.
So yeah, I mean we're gonna talk about a little bit of everything here. Probably the big news. We'll just start off, get it out of the road, so that we can talk about all the fun stuff later. The good news is, contrary to the reports from bodyslam.net and whatever the other place was, Days In or whatever, WWE has not, at least as of yet, sold to Saudi Arabia.
Whoop.
As of yet is the important thing.
The leak was to check the.
I think there's at least something to be said about that. That potentially the leak was there to check, but the only reason I'm not like 100% in on that theory is we know what the response is going to be to the idea of an American company, American stalwart company selling to Saudi Arabia.
Oh, sure.
You don't need to check the reaction to know how it's going to react. Just look what happened in the golfing community when they started up their live golfing, or it's live. I don't know. It's LIV. So if it's Liv Morgan, it's Live Golfing, I guess. Right. But where they signed a bunch of the top golfers to start their golf league, and shit hit the fan on that. You know, they know it's a hot button topic, and it's gonna. I think the only way I'm kinda in on it is I think it might have been less about checking how the public reacted, and more about checking how their own wrestlers reacted.
That's a fair statement.
Because there are reports that multiple wrestlers, after the news broke, the report broke, contacting corporate and saying, I will not work for Saudi Arabia, right? So if you're going to sell to Saudi Arabia, we need to start working on my release.
Right.
And we don't know who it is. I mean, I'm assuming Sami Zayn's one of them. right? Poor Sammy.
Yeah, I would probably think Sammy and KO would be two people that would do it. Sure.
KO, might be. I'm not saying you wouldn't be, but Sammy has a real reason to not be.
Most
like,
of it, they potentially could behead him.
Yes.
Right.
We need you to come to the office real quick because of your heritage.
Yeah. By the way, you need to report to the embassy in Hungary.
Yeah, Sammy almost definitely would be one of them for sure, along with anyone who's maybe somewhat pro LGBTQT or who is came out as a gay or lesbian or whatever have you.
That's
I'm sure
another
might be scared. So.
Sonia Deville,
Tegan Knox.
Tegan Knox, yep.
Women in general.
Well, women in general. But LGBTQ it's still in Saudi Arabia punishable by death. So any member who identifies with that in one way or another, even if they don't publicly, they're very well, just statistically speaking, with a locker room the size of WWE's, there's probably 10 wrestlers who are closeted homosexual,
Okay.
Those people would not feel super comfortable with it. So,
well, and at the same time too, though, I doubt just because Saudi Arabia buys WWE, it's going to be in like Saudi Arabia, all the shows and everything like that. You know
they're probably. The whole thing is the Saudi Royal Fund. It's the Vision 2030.
They own a soccer team in Europe, so
yeah. The whole point of it is to diversify income and propagandize their what's the word I'm
just
looking for?
Just redistributing their image, really. You know,
their image. That image was the word I was looking for. Yeah. And so it's not about they're not. Yes, they're not going to relocate WWE to Saudi Arabia, right?
Right.
But if Saudi Arabia owns WWE, do you think they're only doing 2 events a year over there?
No, they're going to get all the big 4 or 5, I guess.
I don't think though. I think from a monetary standpoint, they're not going to do the big 4 over there.
In Saudi Arabia does not make sense.
No, from a monetary standpoint, the big 4 are still definitely going to be here. But I'm willing to bet instead of being once or twice a year, it's going to be 4 times a year over there. Probably for special events, not, like Crown Jewel isn't considered a pay-per-view to America or a premium streaming event to America. It doesn't take the place of one of their normal ones usually. That's the same thing with this. But they would be going over there multiple times a year, right? But on top of it...
see Evolution again. Oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah. But on top of it, here's the biggest thing is, even if we calm the rhetoric down and say... anyone on the roster who's LGBTQ, they're probably not going to get killed if it's owned by Saudi Arabia. Do you think their jobs are secure if it's owned by Saudi Arabia? Do you think Saudi Arabia has the ability to book storylines and run creatively totally separate from the values that they put forth as a nation, right? And that's where I don't think they would be. I think what you would start seeing is there would be not that, to use a political term, separation of church and state in WWE. WWE would start openly exhibiting a lot of the Saudi Arabian ethics. You know what I mean? And because it's a propaganda tool, and so they'd show off how
a lot of ExxonMobil commercials.
Yeah. They'd show off look how progressive we are. We let women wrestle. But we'd start to see the mandatory costumes for women would start to get more covering. Because here's the thing, if Saudi Arabia owns it, you better believe it's going to be broadcast in Saudi Arabia more often. But they're not going to broadcast it with, Alexa Bliss and whatever, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, any of them coming out in their revealing clothing. So we're going to start seeing more and more, full body costumes for the women if that happens. There's going to be a lot of that goes on it. And so in the end, like, would you feel comfortable working for a company that said, hey, by the way, just so you know, we do not believe that your lifestyle, whatever your lifestyle is valid. And we're going to let you keep working here. But just so you know, we think that your lifestyle is a lie and it's invalid. And if you try to push it on us, we will kill you.
Right.
That's not a warm and fuzzy environment for people to work in. Now, do I think Saudi Arabia buying it is likely? I personally do not. I said on Tuesday night that I hoped it wasn't. The more news that comes out, I do not think it's the likely candidate. I think the likely candidate is NBC Universal, followed by Disney, ESPN.
In that order.
In that order, yes.
I think NBC Universal spends the money for WWE, especially with Universal Studios.
Yeah.
They could easily do a theme park based on.
Well, and that's either one. Of those,
even with Disney, like, come on.
Either one of those. What will likely happen is something, and this is in a non-broadcast standpoint thing, but something I've been wishing WWE has done for 10 years now, and that is they've got a warehouse that every couple of years they like to trot out on special events where, here, like the other day, Tyler Breeze and Xavier Woods for Up, Up, Down, Down toured the WWE warehouse and looked at some stuff. I think it was Tyler Breeze and or was it Big E? And anyways, it was two of them. Anyway, and they looked at some stuff and, here's this, here's that, whatever. Right, but right now, all of that stuff is just being held in a warehouse that nobody gets to see except for these little peaks that WWE likes to do. It doesn't matter whether it's NBC Universal or Disney. You better believe that once one of those companies owns it, there will be
take advantage of that hardcore. Yeah,
a WWE themed exhibit someplace, right?
For sure.
And even more than just a WWE themed exhibit someplace. There likely will be multiple WWE themed exhibits around the country. Probably a physical Hall of Fame location at one of them.
The other thing is likely not in Connecticut, which is...
Yes.
I hate to say this, but Connecticut is not the vacation destination that, say, Florida or California are.
No, you're not wrong. Not wrong at all.
I've never seen any show ever in the States give out a vacation to Connecticut. I've never seen this happen.
They've never given out one to Nebraska either, so, well...
Well, I mean, like, local Nebraska shows, maybe locally in Connecticut they do.
Yeah. Hey, if you win this prize, you'll get a trip to downtown Stamford. All expenses paid. Before we get too deep in, I do want to point out I do have some cards to open. I don't have any AEW because they're sold out everywhere I go. But I did find a place that had some of the WWE Prisms. And so we'll open a set of those tonight. See if I get anything good out of it. Not going to get anything quite as good as the Red Velvet
butt canvas.
That's actually a piece of her costume, but still, that is limited to 50 total copies, and mine's 24 out of 50. So, but I also have the canvas ones for Jamie Hayter and Nyla Rose.
Those are in the duplicates?
Nope, those are in the regular ones. Those are not in the duplicates. But I do have my stack of duplicates. Is quite large. Let me see if I can.
Whoa, bud.
Yeah, that's not that kind of show, bud.
You don't need to be bragging about it, okay? Just because
this is the stack of duplicates. So if we get 10 new subscribers, I have a drawing for this stack of duplicates. Which I will point out, it does have... I gotta get to him here. Gold and some of the Upper Deck canvas prints as duplicates in there as well. So it's not just all base level cards. But I'm going to go farther because I was looking at it and I have to sort through.
Are you going to throw in a Ryback? Is that what you're going to do?
No, I'm going to throw in all my duplicates from the WWE cards as well.
Ooh.
So if you want to get a hot start on collecting WWE cards, AEW cards, whatever, we're talking the WWE Select. We're talking the WWE Prisms. Even the NXT ones. Any of the ones I have duplicates on. I'm going to put them all in a box and ship them off to one lucky winner if we can get 10 new subscribers.
Subscribers being out
Subscribe, not followers, subscribers.
Subscribers on Twitch.
Yes.
Because you can subscribe on YouTube for free. But on Twitch, that's a game changer. Now, if you did both, I mean, bonus points to you. Maybe I'll throw in some of my duplicates.
So, just to start off with the WWE packs, I start off with a Windy Chew. She's a napping.
She's tired.
I have a wonderful action shot of Shinsuke doing an axe kick.
Better photos I've seen used.
Yeah. I do not believe I have this one, but if I do, that means two. That would be a duplicate. And then a next level rainbow Randy Orton.
Potentially retired Randy Orton.
Potentially retired.
That it's more likely that he's retired.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. They're going to have to handle it somehow. He is going to have to confront it in some way. And, you know, I mean, I hate to say we need to have a Randy Orton retirement speech, but the longer they put off him actually, or someone for him actually doing it, the more speculation there's going to be about things. You know what I mean? And if there's one thing the last 10 years have taught us, you can unretire if your health improves, right?
Yeah, it's heartbreaking because I thought that would be the guy. I thought that was the one who was going to break. Him or Cena are the only two really left to break Rick's record.
Yeah.
And
but
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. But you know, like I said, here's the deal. If he comes out and he just retires and then in a year his back improves enough that he feels like he can come back, I mean, or 10 years or whatever.
He's all at what, 44?
You know. So now there is a dark horse in the WWE sale that we have to at least
42.
talk about.
He's 42.
We have to at least talk about this dark horse in it because
Randy Orton's 42?
Yeah. He's younger than me.
Same age as me.
I feel like I should retire.
John Cena's younger than you, but...
Can I call up my boss and retire? My back hurts. Anyways, we need to talk about, there was one other thing that took the internet by storm when it happened, and it is another one of those things where wrestling media are not really good at reading the wording very well. Right? One of the sister publications to the Wall Street Journal put in their thing that sources say that AEW owner Tony and
Genghis. No, that's not his dad's name.
Shad? Anyway, the cons are interested in buying. And instantly, the wrestling media went nuts with headlines of AEW in talks to buy WWE or in talks to merge with WWE. And I want to be clear on this. If you read the initial report, all it says is also interested AEW owners, the cons, right? Interested does not mean in the talks to. And interested does not mean a front runner to.
I mean, for the right dollar amount, I can say that I'm also interested.
Now, that's the deal. Would they be absolute idiotic to not be interested? Yes. If you had the chance to buy your main rival, you're going to be interested in doing it. Now, is it a likely scenario? No, I think it's very unlikely. And aside from the absolute chaos and hilarity that I think it would bring if it were to happen, I'm going to say something that a lot of people listening to this might be surprised to hear me say. I don't think it's a good idea for them to do it.
Right.
No, competition's healthy.
Yeah. Well,
I think we
healthy.
learned that from Vince buying WCW on top of
that. But even more than that, competition is healthy, but even more than that, just from a standpoint of, for the wrestlers, what works out so great for the wrestlers right now is that there are multiple companies that they can go to. If they're unhappy with one company, they can go to a competitor if they need to, right? But if the cons buy WWE, even if they run it as a totally separate company, which is the only way that I think they should do it, if they were to buy it, it'd be buy it under a different corporate name, keep it 100% separate from AEW.
Yeah, literally have Trips compete with Tony.
Yes. And literally have it be like this. Tony Khan says, hey, I now own WWE, but just know this, Trips, you're going to run it, and I am going to make it my mission to put you out of business. You know?
It's a really expensive way to play a game.
It's the only way to do it. But here's the deal. It's still...
It's a verbiage thing. I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's... I want everybody to know that I want it to be your mission to make me broke on the product line that I do, and I want it to be my mission to make you broke.
Our jobs are still to put the other ones out of business, right? Our jobs are still to be the number one in the country and make everyone forget the other one exists. But here's the deal. It's in the end, say you're MJF, right? MJF has played the game for the last year of, the 2024 lottery. Who's going to land MJF? Who's going to pick up the hottest free agent when he goes... Right, you're MJF, and it's 2024, and both companies are owned by the cons. You've got zero leverage. But you've got zero leverage. It's, do I go to the cons or the cons? Right? You know what I mean? Yep. And so it's best for the wrestlers if it's... Now, do I 100% think... it would be absolutely brilliant for an episode of Raw to start off with Vince McMahon strutting to the ring, followed by Nick Khan with a contract in hand saying, I'm here to announce that Nick Khan has purchased WWE, and then Tony Khan's face comes up on the... It
does say Khan!
It says Khan, but not Nick Khan. I think, we are wrestling fans because we love drama, we love intrigue, and we love the absolute ridiculous stuff that happens, right? And that is drama, intrigue, and absolutely ridiculous. It's right up there. I would love to see it. I just don't think it's best for the business and best for the wrestlers, right? Also, keeping in mind that while Tony Khan and his father are richer than Vince McMahon. That is documented fact, right?
Right.
The WWE is expected at least the market value that they were putting on it was between 9 to 11 billion, right? Which would be almost the entire con fortune. So the cons, if the cons were to buy it, they would have to get backers to do it, which they would probably do anyways, right? It would be a consortium buying it.
Yeah, a group.
You know? But now what would be interesting is if they were to get like Triple H as part of that consortium. How crazy would it be if Triple H joined up with Tony Khan to buy out the company from Vince? Now that's the other thing.
You know who can't afford it that I'm really happy can't? Billy Corgan.
Eric Bischoff?
Billy Corgan cannot afford. No, I'm sad Eric Bischoff can't afford it. Billy Corgan cannot afford to buy.
Freddie Prinze Jr. also cannot afford.
Freddie Prinze Jr. cannot afford.
The guy who
EC3
cannot. The guy who owns MLW cannot afford it. Court Bauer is his name.
But the whole, and there was this whole idea once this whole thing happened with Triple H and also Steph not necessarily being happy about a sale, or there was a rumored report about that. Then everyone's like, well, Triple H and Stephanie should just go and make their own company. I'm like, guys, they're not going to start from scratch. Are you kidding me? They'll just take retirement and bounce.
But what they could do.
Trips could start from scratch.
Yeah, Trips could. Well, and Stephanie could.
No, I'm too worried for his heart and all that.
They would
start building from scratch.
No, but you're right. They wouldn't start from scratch. Do you know what they would do? They would buy MLW or NWA from Billy Corgan, or go to El Rey and buy the rights to Lucha Underground and start from that. Or, you know what I mean? They would go someplace and they would start with an existing product. They'd buy GCW, or go and purchase all of the naming rights for CZW and restart that. They wouldn't start from scratch. That'd be silly. But they could bounce out and take, use their money to because here's the deal, that while Vince owns 80% of the shares, the voting shares, I should say, the Class B, Steph and Trips do own substantial amounts of shares, right? And so if a purchase goes through,
here's the deal. When Vince dies, there's still only two heirs.
Well, that's the deal.
And Vince can only donate so much to charity.
Well, and that's I think that's why he's so dead set on selling it now. I think that's why he's like, let's do this, because I don't think he wants to leave it to them.
Yeah,
which sucks. It's just fucking stupid.
And so, but again, while Vince owns 80% of the Class B shares, Steph and Trips both own a significant amount of shares, both Class A and Class B, right? All it would take is someone buying that 80%, or even specifically 51% off of Vince to now be majority owner. So even though they're talking about a wholesale, right, where the whole company gets sold off and privatized down, which is what would happen if, sort of what would happen if it went to Disney or NBC Universal, would be what happens if it went to Saudi Arabia. In the end, Steph and Trips are going to get a boatload of money from the buyout, the stock buyout, right? Which would be enough for them to go to, heck, it might be enough for them to go to Impact Wrestling and say, hey.
And my guess is that Nick Khan has not enjoyed working with them. So then you also have his negotiation skills at the table for MLW or whatever it may be. You have the name recognition for people to want to put a contract on it and want to watch. Wrestlers will come quickly. Even if it's not the best paying at first.
Let's see what they're saying.
So it's not an unheard of concept that those two could.
No, it's just when they were alluding to starting from scratch, I'm like, there's no way they're just gonna be like, you know what, we're gonna make our own federation. Like, and I'm more thinking Steph's been in the business her whole life. I'm sure she wants to maybe do other things too.
That's pretty easy.
Trips with his heart condition.
Chairwoman of the board. Is the chair of the board in that type of role instead of in a CEO day-to-day business board position. Nick Khan as a CEO, Trips is creative and the production. You could see a full-on transition, and that's almost likely with the concept of Saudi Arabia buying.
And if there is a buyout like that, right? Does that mean the contracts kind of get swayed, or they just get turned to the new company? I imagine they would just get turned to the new company, but ultimately the
contracts. Well, that's actually a good question because we don't know. It depends on how they put the sale together. To use an example, when WCW sold to Vince McMahon. Right.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He bought the rights to the names and all of their trademarks and all of that stuff.
Not the contracts.
But he did not buy the contracts. All the contracts were offered a buyout and a chance to renegotiate and come to WWE, or they could not work out, but wait out the rest of their contract, which a lot of wrestlers did. Hulk Hogan did. Macho Man did. Sting chose to.
I would venture to guess they were still offered said buyout.
They were offered. They chose to stay. Yeah. As of right now, if my calculations are correct, Steph and Trips, if the company sold and the buyout was at today's stock price for
just $89 a share.
It's $89.40. They would get $223.5 million.
That's enough to buy WCW 100 times.
100 times.
100 times.
So yeah. It probably, frankly, would be enough to buy Impact Wrestling or MLW, right?
Yes.
It's as much as NWA is worth. But I think Billy Corgan thinks it's worth more. You know what I mean?
Billy Corgan doesn't have a TV deal.
He does not.
And will never.
But Billy Corgan thinks the world of himself and his product. And don't get me wrong, NWA is nice. It's good. You know? It's just not that. Anyways.
So, I mean, I think we've talked enough with it just being all speculation.
Yeah. It is all speculation. I'm just gonna end it with saying, like I said before, I think it's in this order likelihood: NBC Universal, after that Disney, after that then we start getting down to things like Saudi Arabia, potentially HBO, like Warner Media. I think they're a low one on it, mostly because since the merger, they've been wholesaling off all sorts of stuff. So I don't think they're.
Who owns MTV and A&E and all that?
It was Viacom, but
that's a potential, I think.
But I wasn't sure.
The publicity from Make-A-Wish with guys like
John Viacom CBS, which is Paramount.
I think there's potential there.
There is. It would be interesting if Paramount bought.
Hell, even Netflix.
Netflix is an option.
I don't think Netflix is.
I don't think it's. I think it's pretty low. I think it's under Saudi Arabia. I think it might even be past AEW.
Wow.
I don't think just the amount, the sheer amount of investment that it would be, because we're talking they're estimating it.
They do episodic production, but they don't do weekly release, and
They don't.
But there is
that's a new niche for them.
There is talk of a
TV
lot of the
really
streams
hard
though
for them.
doing live though. That is a thing. So if they were wanting to consider going live with wrestling that started off,
if they were to buy WWE at the price that it's expected to go at, it would be a full 10% of their entire net worth investing into WWE. Like, Netflix is big, but it's not Paramount, Disney, Universal.
Also,
not
I'm going to go
Fox.
on record that I don't think Elon has any interest in
No.
entertainment.
no.
I think
fucked up with
Elon
Twitter.
right now is still trying to fucking dig himself out of the Twitter hole.
Significantly overpaid for Twitter.
Significantly. And the thing is, so he knew he was overpaying.
Yes.
He put in the bid as I really don't think he wanted to buy it. I think he put in the bid as a joke and a scheme, frankly. I think his whole thoughts were, if I put in a bid, I can liquidate a bunch of Tesla stocks for cash, and then I can back out, and the bid has a $1 billion back out, right? So I sell $11 billion worth of Tesla stock at an all-time high, and then I spend $1 billion to back out of this deal. Frankly, that makes a lot of business sense,
Pretty shrewd.
The problem is, he didn't realize that he wasn't going to be able to back out of it as easy as he thought he was.
Right.
Well, especially when they made it sound like they wanted him to back out of it, like...
Well, and I think he got a little greedy. I think he said, well, I could make $10 billion profit off of it, or I could try to make it sound like it's their fault I'm backing out and make $11 billion. And they're like, we'll fight you on that. Come on, let's prove it.
Yep, that's it. So what happens when you grossly overpay for a company and they're like, well, you know what? No, we'll call you out on it. Yeah, let's do this. Okay.
Yeah, and so then he went into that company and he found out that they were losing like $2 million a week. It was a bad purchase for whoever would have done it, right? It was just as extra bad for him. The problem is the things that he's doing to try to right the ship are all dumb. Like right now, he's been doing this whole thing of not paying rent for the building that their offices are in, which is not a long-term successful strategy.
I tried that once to get out of my financial woes. It did not work.
It did not. Guess what? You found yourself homeless and still on the hook for the rent. So, real quick, let's look at the next
Girl
pack.
came to my door and said, "Where's the rent?" Sorry, that was a...
I'm pretty sure this is a duplicate Queen Selena.
Zelina...
Shelton Benjamin.
Ooh, ain't no stopping that card now. Damn.
The Poison Pixie herself, Candice LeRae.
Not in the Poison Pixie outfit.
That was her nickname in NXT.
It's a nickname now. She comes out in the wings.
Yep.
And Guru Raj.
It must be an NXT.
Yeah. High flying superstar from India. It's a great bonus pack.
Yeah, this is really rough on the... we're trying to capture this market stars.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the other thing, right? When we talk about Saudi Arabia potentially buying it, if you're talking about trying to expand WWE globally by having market in India and Pakistan,
They don't give a shit.
and then they look at it and they see, wait, you're owned by Saudi Arabia? Nah, I'm out.
Say goodbye to any Israeli funds.
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about actual wrestling.
Yeah.
Which I didn't.
Because there was good wrestling this week. Really good wrestling.
There we go.
I don't know why, but it's hot as fuck in my basement.
Because you're looking at
usually
me
basements
on
are
your screen.
cool. Oh.
I put a space heater down here. It's set at 60 and my basement's like 943 degrees. Might be a little less than that. That might be an exaggeration.
Yeah, maybe just a tad. Just a tad of an exaggeration. Yep.
It's just a maybe, though. I mean, there's no guarantee that it's just...
Okay, that's fair.
It's kind of like the Saudi Arabia sale. There's no guarantee that it's going to go to Saudi Arabia.
Man, it's just they have unlimited income though. That's just the only thing that scares me. We know how Vince is an egotistical maniac, and it's just like if Vince could just go in, get voted by the board. All right, guys, give me 20 billion and it's yours. Give me 20 billion and it's yours. They'll do it.
Still no way that man is so delusional to think that he can spend that kind of money before he dies. It's somebody else's money. Regardless of where it's going, it's somebody else's money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. He'll probably just get... He's so evil and maniacal, I feel like he'll just give it all, not even to his kids. He'll just go and buy an island and freaking chill there for the rest of his days.
Well, the one thing I do want to point out, all of the reports have it that with Saudi Arabia specifically, part of the deal was that Vince McMahon would remain in charge.
Now that I can see, because
he would continue to be the CEO, regardless of the sale. Even if they bought him out and he no longer had stock controlling option,
right?
Part of the deal was he would still be CEO. So he's not going anywhere, right, with it.
And, which would still work for his egomaniacal scenario.
The next 10 years.
NBC Universal or Disney buys it, and he's going somewhere. Because NBC Universal and Disney are going to install their own executives in charge of it.
Bob Iger here. Kiss my ass by Bob Iger.
Yeah, that's it.
But so let's talk really quickly. Let's talk Raw. So it started off with Kevin Owens defeating Baron Corbin.
Good match. Love the plug. Love the plug. You know, I was the last one who beat him. So
that works perfectly.
I think he needs a shot.
Well, and I think that's why they are bringing it up though too. I think we're slowly going to see Corbin back in the title picture.
Corbin has
not by Mania, shot. But
well, he's not. But they also have him losing all the time right now. So I don't know if they're building him up so much.
Still the last one. In fact, have him beat Roman for a shot at the title and then lose to Roman.
The big thing with this, Solo Sikoa hit the Samoan spike again, and
KO just took it like a regular punch. The first time.
I might be roasted for this, but I never thought the Samoan spike looked any good.
No.
I think it's just stupid.
I didn't like it when it was his uncle doing it. I didn't like it now.
Yep. Nope. It just...
I mean, there's no way.
Your guy with your thumb.
That's it. Well, isn't that what it is? It's the thumb.
Well, yeah. But have you ever jammed your thumb?
I mean, I just did, and it sucked.
It sucked. It sucked so bad.
But also, we know you're not actually doing that to the dude because
No, I
That
get
sucks.
it. But that's my point is, any move that is based off of something that I know personally sucks for the person doing it. It might as well be like the Samoan toe stub. I'm like, nope, that sucks.
Wouldn't
that would
knock
be
me
more
out.
believable.
That sucks.
That would
That
be more
sucks.
believable.
How is
the
that
toe
person
stab would
walking?
be
Because
horrible.
a throat punch is really just like. And why is
you're,
there
like,
not a
down.
punch to the middle of the back to knock the wind out of you? That's a legit one. Like, okay, that's a finisher, man. Ain't nobody kicking out of a punch to the middle of the back.
I agree. Alexa Bliss came out and stood on top of the announce desk and did her whole speech about how Bianca Belair has seen how vicious she is and how all this stuff. And then we had
The important question is, do you think you're in control?
well, yeah, she said that. She also said, and I'm pointing out, I have the whole world in my hands.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Then
beat us over the head
Howdy
with this.
had the promo on there.
Yeah.
With, do you think you're in control? And she just stood there like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the whole world in my hands. Yeah, beat us over the head with it. Might as well have just said, let me in. Anyway.
Well, I mean, and if that wasn't enough, you also had Uncle Howdy come out, right? So
yep, and then Uncle Howdy came
just
out.
a further.
Didn't come out,
which-
just on the screen.
No, didn't he come out?
I thought he came out.
I thought he came out.
I
Jinx.
think he came out when Bray was there.
Yeah, Uncle Howdy made an appearance before the live crowd, and it terrified Alexa Bliss. So.
And then the screen had him saying, do you think
Yeah.
you're in control?
But, and I think this probably puts to rest the who is Uncle Howdy, because prior to that, it was leaked that Bo Dallas was going to be backstage at Raw that night, and then we had Uncle Howdy come out.
Oh, I didn't.
I think the voice
Okay.
of Uncle Howdy's still Bray, though.
I mean,
I
that's
don't know.
possible.
It's possible to be dubbed over. But also, I do want to point out that if my brother wants to sound like me, he can sound almost identical to me.
That's fair.
And if
anyone
I
can do
want
it,
to
it's his
sound
brother.
like my brother, I can sound
I
almost
gotta
identical
believe.
to my brother. And so there's a good chance that Bo Dallas can do a really good Bray Wyatt impersonation.
Also, would love to hear Uncle Howdy say, do you believe?
No.
But
Oh, I'd
but-
be about it, man. I'd be about it.
you'd
I
be
know,
about
you're a
it, and
cheese
rowdy,
ball,
rowdy.
Oh, snap.
I'm not a cheese ball. I'm a human being.
Bailey
You're a
defeated
human
Minchin.
cheese ball. But I love it.
Bailey, what?
Bailey defeated Minchin.
Me
Oh, look, Bailey finally wins a match.
Yeah, finally won the
Yay.
match.
Jesus.
They had a promo with Austin Theory out there talking about how he injured Seth Rollins. Here's where I live up to it and say they worked me, because apparently Seth Rollins' injury was all storyline. I believed it was real. They got me with it. But he came out limping out on the crutches and then revealed that he's fine and he'll be ready for the Rumble and all of that stuff. And then Bobby Lashley came out. And in connection with this, there also was a vignette later, or should I say a vignette later,
you should. You should. Yep.
with our friend, MVP.
with
The
MVP.
most valuable player.
Saying, we need to talk, listen, I know.
Montel Vontavious Porter.
Yes.
I know. Jeez.
I do want to, as an aside, MVP's Twitter was great this week, because after he posted a picture of him on the flight home and Dom's next to him. And it was something like, this motherfucker's out here talking about how I don't know how tough prison is and I wouldn't survive in prison. which A, sells the whole Dominic storyline,
Right.
and B, points out that MVP was in prison.
Yeah.
The fucking interview with the Miz, man. I was just like, it's.
Oh.
You can see Finn Balor struggle to not crack up. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, like Miz saying, "That's a $500 flannel you're wearing." You don't know what it's like in the big block.
And then for Ray to do like a promo on SmackDown, I was like,
Did
dude,
I
your son
ever
already
in my
outdid
life-
you.
Did I ever in my life think I would enjoy Dominic Mysterio? And they fucking pulled it off. Man.
Well, you know,
I
some
don't know
good
how.
S-word.
I said
This is
this
some
from the
good
beginning.
S-word.
The big thing with Dominic is he had to get out from under Ray. And he had to stop wrestling like Ray.
Yes.
He had to stop trying to act like Ray. He has to be his own. I mean, we saw it years and years and years ago with David Flair coming out wearing Ric Flair's robes. He never could get out from under that shadow.
Yeah. Right.
But
Now,
for Charlotte, she's still in his shadow and hanging out, having a good old time, annoying the fuck out of us.
But now there is one thing. Charlotte has a lot more talent than David Flair did.
That's true.
David Flair, I don't think was meant to be a professional wrestler. So
Is Reese wrestling? Reese died.
I think Reese died. Oh, now I'm stupid jealous. I just saw a guy on Facebook posted, look what I just pulled out of my hobby box tonight. And it's a Kenny Omega red one that has a piece of his outfit on it. Number 50 of 50.
You didn't get it this week?
I couldn't get AEW. Remember, they were sold out. But I saw that and I was like,
Oh,
that's all.
I thought it was part of the pro wrestling crate. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, the
No.
cards. Damn.
Yeah, my crate's coming soon. Should be here this week.
Did you want to smell Kenny Omega's junk? Is what you're telling me?
Is that, yeah?
I mean-
think so. I think he's,
I'm not saying I don't want to smell Kenny Omega's junk. We had Rhea Ripley defeat Candice LeRae. Poor Candice. Like, they don't... It seems pretty obvious to me that they brought Candice back because of Johnny Gargano. It was...
Not really
Right.
using Johnny either right now.
Well, Johnny's injured. He's out. He's going to miss Rumble because of an injury. They announced that last week that he was injured. But ever since Candice LeRae came back, I honestly don't even know if she won.
A match yet?
nope, I don't think so.
God, can you imagine a Candice LeRae Cora Jade feud? Fucking give me her in NXT while Johnny's down for the time being.
Let's see here.
Oh,
Candice LeRae.
you can
cage
have her come
match.
on as the Poison Pixie bad girl, and then have her transition to a good girl so she can battle Cora Jade.
Okay.
Just put her in between the two of them.
Lost on
Yeah.
Raw.
Between Roxanne.
Lost on Raw back in December. Oh, she did defeat Dakota Kai on an episode of Raw back in November.
Team Kick, bud. No, that was
But-
Tegan, never mind.
Most of it's been losses. Loss. Anyways, but so Solo Sikoa defeated Dolph Ziggler, also with the spike. Then we had the Miz TV with Dominic Mysterio. Comes out with a bandana around his face
God,
and his
just
flannel
the whole
all
fucking
cholo.
face, man.
It's great.
Oh,
My mom was so fucking confused. Like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm like, it's awesome. She's like, this is so stupid. I'm like, it's so stupid that it's good. It's like
this is exactly what you wanted. From
this is what you
pampered little
need. This is
kid
yeah.
And then they closed out the
grown up
night
with
with the
rich
tag
dad.
team turmoil, with Judgment Day winning the tag team turmoil match.
Which I didn't mind at all. I thought that was great. Everyone is kind of into the whole Dominic thing. Rhea makes the Judgment Day look awesome. So I was kind of down for it. Was totally turned off by the fact that there was no SmackDown tag teams. Because I thought, oh, okay, then SmackDown's going to have one.
No,
Nope.
they do have one on SmackDown.
Do they? No, they don't.
Yes, the first match in the tournament was the what did they want their new name to be? Drew and Sheamus versus Viking Raiders. But Drew and Sheamus wanted a new name, and it was fucking hilarious. I can't remember.
Oh, Banger Bros.
Banger Brothers.
I thought that was a joke at first because Michael Cole kind of said it like weirdly, but I guess that's their name. That's horrible.
Name yourselves after a porno site.
Oh, that's Bang Bros. Teensy tiny.
I'm sorry. I guess I didn't realize I had the name wrong. Maybe you're more familiar with that site.
Yeah, you seem to be awfully familiar with that site.
It's only because I worked in that industry.
I'm not in league with that site. And what exactly does that site show? I've never seen it before.
Then you'll never find out.
Yes, because obviously now that you're married, you definitely do not. Look
I definitely do not.
Sites.
No, that's it. They're blocked from your internet usage.
Yeah, 100% blocked.
Sites.
Yeah, they're totally blocked. That's
Totally blocked.
That's not where you get.
Just to make sure he doesn't go on them, he has them on his homepage. He's like, yes, I can't click those as a reminder.
Beth Phoenix doing the Glam Slam.
The Glam Slam. All right.
Which
is another rumor. Beth Phoenix and Edge are set to appear at the Rumble. It's the rumor that's going around.
Of course.
I have to say, I think the Glam Slam is one of the dumbest moves. I hate it. But
see, I like it.
And I hate it. Jade Cargill does her version of it, and I hate hers. I've never liked it. But we've got Seth Franklin Rollins himself there.
Nice. I mean, it makes sense in terms of hurting someone, though. Like, realistically, if you're going to do a Grand Slam on me or Jade's version, it would hurt you because you can't do anything with your hands to protect yourself, and your face is going to fall flat right on the mat. So it would technically hurt you more
as
than
long
a lot of
as
other
you
moves.
as long as you needlessly hook your legs around the back of the person lifting you up instead of putting them out in front of you to catch your fall.
I mean, that's what I do when people pick me up in a double chicken wing.
We talked about him a little bit ago. MVP himself, looking dapper.
Damn right.
And my chase card, a prismatic entrances for John Cena.
I can hands down say yes, John Cena is facing Austin Theory at WrestleMania.
I don't know, man.
After that promo that Theory gave when he said the champ is here. At the very beginning.
I don't know, man. It's. I think it's Logan for me still.
No.
Logan mentioned he wanted to face John Cena. I think that's more of a moneymaker than Austin Theory.
I think short term it's more of a moneymaker short term. I think long term, and this is where I think they're going with John Cena versus Austin Theory. John Cena himself has said in interviews that he thinks Austin Theory is this generation's John Cena.
Oh, he's actually mentioned that?
Yeah.
Oh, snap. Okay. I've heard of people. I didn't think John Cena actually commented on that. Okay.
And so all of this is all about setting Austin Theory up to be the next John Cena.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to have somebody to face. For John Cena, that was his matches with Brock. That's the ones that made him, oh my God. This guy's going to lose his shit on Brock.
Okay, moving on to SmackDown. Started off, we had Braun Strowman versus Gunther.
That was a fire
Yeah.
match, man.
That was a fun match. Yep. I really enjoyed that.
I enjoyed seeing Braun Strowman get powerbombed. Like, that's not something you see every day.
Right? Yeah.
We had Karrion Kross put Rey Mysterio to sleep.
That was fantastic, too. The 17 years ago, I was like, oh, there's
Karrion Kross right there. Right there. Came out with Scarlett Bordeaux. Right there.
Like Simon Miller.
Carrie. Scarlett.
Oh, you were successful once. That's an insult. No, that's a good insult. It was 17 years ago.
Tegan Knox defeated Xia Li.
Good for Tegan.
It was good for Tegan. That's kind of my only
for
problem
Xia, though. Yeah.
Is that, you know, a year ago Xia was debuted on SmackDown to a lot of fanfare. She had this really cool
Fuck nothing with her.
Yeah, and then they've done nothing with her. Bray Wyatt cut a promo.
I enjoyed the hell out of that promo. I want to see where this is going because he's got everything. Like, he's including everything he's done.
Liv Morgan versus Raquel Rodriguez.
At one point, I thought that was going Liv's way.
Yeah.
That was a fire match, too.
And then the main event was Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Because they're continuing the whole Sami Zayn has to prove that he's not just working.
And what a way to do it. Sammy's maybe almost about to win, and then the bloodline come in and attack KO. I was like, what a way to create more tension, though, because Sammy's eventually going to get pissed. And like, guys, I had that. No? Oh, no, we know you had it, but like, we just wanted to make sure. So there's still that hint of Roman not believing Sammy actually did have it, or them not really caring about what Sammy does kind of thing. So, yeah, I enjoyed that. And boy, what a fire match before the interruption happened. Both of those guys, clearly you see the chemistry they have with each other. Just banger. They've always had it. And it's never boring. They've wrestled so many times, but it's never boring. Great match.
Never boring.
That was going to be my match of the week if it wasn't for freaking the street fight, because that street fight was fire on Rampage.
Yeah. Well, there are actually a lot of great matches on AEW this week, so let's move over to that. It started off Dynamite right off the bat. Hangman Adam Page versus Jon Moxley.
Didn't see Hangman winning, but it made sense. Yeah.
I saw Hangman winning. I did not see them starting this angle, which I'm interested to see how they go with it. But because at the end of the match, Hangman hit a headbutt to Moxley. And then he hit a lariat, and then the buckshot lariat to get the win. And then afterwards, they sold the concept of Moxley having a concussion.
I'm surprised there wasn't more Twitter rage on Twitter about this whole using a concussion as a storyline gimmick when Hangman.
Well, the thing is, I think all the Twitter rage happened a month ago when Hangman Page first mentioned it in his promos, right? And so by now, the Twitter rage had died down because they're like, we got angry when Hangman Page talked about how he couldn't remember the name of his own son after his concussion.
That was a great
promo. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, so to have this whole thing where Moxley looks dazed and like they asked him some questions and you could see that he wasn't answering them correctly. And I think it's going to be interesting to tell. Is this going to be a storyline that ends with Moxley and Page bonding over a shared experience sort of a thing? Is this going to end with Page being an unofficial member of the BCC? Or is the BCC going to kind of fade away and Moxley and Page, end up as a tag team or something? It's going to be interesting to see. Now, I personally would love to see Hangman Page get back in a title picture, maybe going after the TNT title. or something like that. I don't know. But next up, though, we had the surprise of the night. Tony Schiavone was in the ring, and
then
Excalibur
boom!
Wait to steal my thunder. Excalibur said that we just have on the call sheet it just says promo TBD, so we don't know who it is. Now reports have it that that's real. Like nobody knew who the promo was going to be. The call sheets all just said TBD. The only person who knew for certain that Adam Cole was going to be there was Britt Baker.
Well, and Adam Cole and his
person who drove him into the arena.
Chauffeur, which is a hilarious picture. It's fucking hiding down under the seat.
But he doesn't have to hide too far down. But I'm Ching.
Oh,
I love you, Adam Cole. I love you. I kid. Anyways, so he came out and he gave a great promo.
Yep. And I guess
he
he's
started off with well, anytime you come back from a major injury, you're almost by default face. There's almost nothing you can do about it, right? But he started off with good news and bad news. Let's talk about the good news. And he talked about how he had a whole new appreciate for pro wrestling in his life, and he always wanted to be a pro wrestler, and how he couldn't sleep at night. His emotions all over the place. He'd get up and pace around, and Britt would look at him and he'd say, "I don't know what's happening to me." And how the fans got him through it because he'd always read the things like, "I miss Adam Cole. I just want him to be okay," things like that. And then he said, "And now for the bad news. The thing is, the bad news, it's not for me. The bad news is for the AEW locker room because Adam Cole is back." And the crowd, first the crowd absolutely exploded when his music hit.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
And then the crowd exploded at that point, too. And so Adam Cole, finally back from his injury. I'm happy to see him back. I'm happy to hear that he's healthy again.
Yeah.
We have missed him. Welcome back, Mr. Bebe.
Indeed.
welcome back.
Then we had the debut and probably only match of the newest hot tag team that everyone loves and probably will never see again. Or maybe they will. I don't know. But it was billed as one night only. Jungle Hook. Jungle Boy and Hook versus Big Bill and Lee Moriarty. And it was a good match. I mean, it showed off Hook hitting that big belly to back release German suplex on
Bill.
Big Bill.
It was wild.
Was huge.
You might even call it big.
Yeah, it was big. It was big. It was huge. It was huge.
Nobody has a bigger belly to play.
Let me tell you, it's a big belly to back. It's a big German suplex. Some might say it's the biggest. I'm not. No, it might be the biggest. Some people say it is. That's what I'm hearing.
That's not bad. That's pretty good.
For a guy who changes the channel every time that man talks, you do a pretty good impersonation.
Then we had American Dragon Bryan Danielson versus Konosuke Takeshita. This was the match I was most looking forward to, because
the expectations, I wish I'd had less expectation.
Well, I think
they're building to something there, maybe.
I think they're building, but I gotta be honest. I think the MJF promo before it hurt the match. It took the wind out of the sails of the match. But I do think they're building.
It was a great match. It's just there are some matches that you get that have their own built-in expectation.
Right.
Example: Will Ospreay and Kenny
Omega. Yeah.
had a fire expectation and delivered.
Mm-hmm. I think, like I said, this was the match I was looking forward to the most. But I think I understand what you're saying. I think this is the match that should have been built to.
Yeah.
That's it.
They should have given Takeshita a string of wins, and then had Bryan Danielson come out, maybe sit in on commentary for some of them, maybe even just have a whole thing where he comes out and he just sits on the ramp and watches the match. You know what I mean?
Or maybe not MJF, call him take a shitta. You know what I mean? Maybe that.
Well, that's the other. That's why I think the MJF promo before it, I think it took kind of the wind out of the sails of this match a bit. But I also think that this match should have been after like 6 or 7 matches, right? It should have been building up. We should have had Takeshita beat QT Marshall. Takeshita beat Daniel Garcia. Takeshita
but that's
beat,
just...
That's
just thinking the fans... That's just calling the fans stupid, though. The fans who know Takeshita already know he's a phenomenal talent, and he's as comparable as Daniel Bryan.
No, I agree, but at the same point, you say the fans that know Takeshita. 6 months ago, Takeshita was unknown to America. He was a DDT pro wrestler that 99% of American wrestling fans had never seen wrestle. Then AEW brought him in through the Forbidden Door and had him wrestle some matches. He wrestled like a dozen matches and then went back to Japan and then came back, right? So our experience with Takeshita is still limited, right? Number one. But number two, I bet you if I go and I look up Takeshita's win-loss record in AEW, he has more losses than he has wins. And this included in it, right? Because he lost this match. And that's,
great match,
I think,
though.
It was a great match.
Still.
I think that's part of the problem is because they threw it so early on in this thing. I knew the entire time Danielson was going to win because you can't at this point have Danielson, who's about to challenge the world champion in an Iron Man match. You can't have him lose to a less than proven Japanese import. You know what I mean? And so that's where I was like, he's got to lose, right?
Well, I mean, with that said, though, there was still some moments where I thought, oh my God, is Takeshita going to win? Because Daniel Bryan had the whatever he calls it, the lock on him. He got out of it. So it was still a pretty match. I knew it just like you that Bryan was going to win, but there were still some moments within the match that made me like, are they going to make him win? So it was a good match. I mean, I feel like we're hating on it a bit too much.
I'm not hating on it.
I'm not hating on it.
Excellent match.
I think there should have been more build to it.
There wasn't. It just.
Yeah.
For me, the expectation was very, very high, and they're opening the expectations right now. And I was expecting this to be a closeout, much like. I mean, here's the deal.
Closeout would have made sense. Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of promo. No. Versus what there had been for other big ones. I just think that this one needed more.
I think where it was on the card, though, makes complete sense.
Other people, for this to be number one, location on the card makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
This is a closer, Matt. This is an opener or a closer. And you can't replace the closer on this particular Dynamite. I'm sorry, that was Rampage. You can't replace the opener. That was fantastic.
You also can't replace the closer because the closer was the Escalera de la Muerte.
Okay. So you can't. So it just. This was such a great match, and yet.
Well, and the thing is, like I said, here's the deal. It was a great match. I think it was minimized by the promo before it that took the wind out of its sails, and because it didn't have any build up to it. Again, if this had happened after 4 weeks of Danielson watching Takeshita beat up players, and then saying, okay,
Yeah,
I think you're worthy of my
the American Dragon.
the American Dragon, my attention,
Especially as good as Danielson is at being a heel. That gives you a chance to have that guy who sits crisscross applesauce on the ramp and watches their people. And I'm not pointing a finger at a particular person, but it would be really entertaining to see. Right there.
happens to be Chicago made.
I'm just saying that Danielson's obviously also a chick magnet. You know,
Yeah.
like what you want.
I am going to, in connection with that, point out that particular person has been a lot more active on Twitter recently, and Instagram. No, and he's been commenting a lot on other AEW wrestlers' posts.
In a polite way?
No, but in a way that makes me think he's running a work now. Like, I 100% think Brawl Out was a shoot. I think it was not planned and all that stuff. Right. But I think the way he's talking about it, because like he commented on an MJF Instagram about how the ratings.
Well, that was a troll and a half too, though.
It is a troll and a half, but that's the sort of troll and a half that only goes on if you might be coming back to the company, if you ask.
Or if you're a dick.
Or if you're a dick.
But MJF's pretty dickish.
No. CM Punk's pretty dickish.
CM Punk is pretty dickish, but it's one of those things. He didn't go on a bunch of WWE wrestlers and make comments about. No, he just went on
podcasts because the socials weren't as big back then.
Well, but
podcasts and fucking buried people.
He went on a podcast 9 months afterwards, invited by his at the time best friend.
Go Cabana.
But here's the deal: that's my point. I feel like the stuff, because he did one on Max Caster. He commented about how Max Caster had to restart his rap at the tapings for Rampage because he messed up.
Right.
These are all things that, to me, scream they're starting to work him back in the AEW conversation, which might mean that something's been worked out with him.
Or it's still a shoot and he's a dick.
There's the chance. I'm not saying it's guaranteed. I just got the feeling from this. The way that it was written did not come off to me like I'm a dick and it came off to me like I want people to know that I might be coming back here. Anyways,
right now just to give you an idea of where he's at in my world, he's in the same location in my world that Vince is in yours.
He posted a picture of him eating ice cream with Brody King the other day.
Oh, okay. So he's a dick that likes ice cream.
It was a new picture. That's what it came down to. So he's hanging out with some.
He's a dick with friends
AEW
that
stars.
Likes ice cream. Okay.
He's hanging out with some AEW stars. No, I'm not. I'm just saying it's one of those things. To me, the fact that he was absolutely silent. He was absolutely silent for so long, and then now he's come back. And he hasn't come back in a way that is like AEW is worthless without me. He's not attacking the company. He's not even attacking the Young Bucks. You know what I mean?
I mean, again,
that's and the Young Bucks' ability to let bygones be bygones. And he's proven that he's not really that great at that. Now, maybe there's some maturity that's grown through this event.
Right.
Maybe. I'll give you the maybe, but until I see it, much like the Saudi Arabia deal, I'm not believing it.
I agree.
Think he's a dick.
Like I said, that's still definitely
and there's also probably legal issues too, right? Maybe he doesn't want to open that can of worms because there is some legal stuff between him, Bucks.
There is some legal stuff, but that's ultimately what it comes down to. For him to even start talking about it in any way, shape, or form, even making things, makes me think the legal stuff has been worked over. That he feels like he can get away with doing this because
maybe he's a
Yeah.
dick and he thinks he can get away with some bullshit.
Yeah, but
maybe
exactly. But he's not necessarily talking.
Again, this is all speculation, but
I get it,
I'm just
for sure.
saying my gut tells me when I read these things that these are him working us, not
I'll
him
go
shooting.
read them because maybe I'm a dick.
Just the way it's worded, like the thing is, it's worded like I'm trying to start a program with MJF, right?
And that's fair. I mean, so long as he loses, that's fair.
You know,
I also think he's like the only way he can come back is as a heel, right?
yeah. Which is how he should have been. He come back as a face because he's going to be the returning hero originally when he first came back 2 years ago, right? And then after a while, they really should have, when Hangman Page delivered the "I'm not defending this title."
This was Twitter or
I'm
Instagram?
defending it from you. I think it was. Well, I think there was on both, but Instagram might have been some of it. I'm trying to remember.
Okay. I'll check.
All right. I'll reserve judgment instead of just saying he's a dick.
I'll still say he's a dick, and I just don't want you to get your hopes up, bud. I don't see Punk coming back. Oh, I love that line. Oh, that's really old, though. Okay, I guess it's all IG, because all his Twitter stuff is old as balls.
Maybe. Wait a minute. I'm trying to find the comment. I found the... Because it was a comment on MJF's thing. So yeah, MJF posted an Instagram photo of him holding up his Pro Wrestling Illustrated awards from last year.
Okay.
And he's wearing the AEW belt. And then CM Punk says maybe find some tape for the ratings so nobody sees those either.
Right.
The way that that's worded, it's just like a shot at, hey, you're not doing the ratings that I was doing. Which to me, like I said, that's just the way my gut reads it.
Okay.
You know, it could be him being a dick. Not saying that's not an option.
Which, again, has its role in wrestling. Mm-hmm. Just not the backstage fighting.
Okay. Anyways, after that, we had Juice Robinson come out and challenge Darby Allin for Friday's Rampage. I was happy to see Juice Robinson get a little bit of, because I know he's signed to AEW, get a little bit of shine and a shot at the TNT title with Darby Allin. We'll talk about that in a bit. You had the tag match, Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker versus Saraya and Toni Storm. No Sasha Banks, Mercedes Money.
Nope. It was legit Toni Storm.
They did feature a point at the end where, what's her name? Oh, I'm looking at. I can see what she was wearing. Her name's just right on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of her.
It's Hikaru Shida.
It's Hikaru Shida. That's right. Came out and stood at ringside. Now, an important thing, maybe purposeful, maybe entirely coincidental, but Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker came out wearing black and red. Saraya came out wearing black. Toni Storm came out wearing her normal black and blue sort of thing. Hikaru Shida came out wearing black and red. Now, Hikaru Shida's colors are normally black and red, so might be entirely coincidental, but it did play out in the end as very fitting, because towards the end, she tossed her kendo stick into the ring, right in between Toni Storm and Britt Baker.
Oh.
Not close to Toni Storm. It was right in the middle there. And Britt Baker got up and whacked Toni Storm with it, and then...
She just kind of walked away. She was like, oh, it's okay, Britt Baker.
Well, for a short period of time, she did this, oh, what have I done, sort of look on her face, and then walked away. Right? So, obviously, they're doing something more there. You had the Jericho Appreciation Society come out and talk a bunch of smack, which is what they do. And then finally, the Escalera de la Muerte, the finale of the best in 7 for the Trios Championship. Fun match, all in all. Ended with Kenny Omega climbing and grabbing the belt. The one of the belts, the 3 belts up there. So the new AW Trios champions are the Elite again. I think we all saw that coming, right?
Yeah.
The only reason that Death Triangle got the belts was because they got stripped off of the Elite.
But
this was all
storylines out of this.
Yeah, this was all just a way to try to give as much shine as they could to Death Triangle before taking the belts off of them and putting them back on the Elite. So it did end with a one-winged angel off the ladder on Rey Fenix.
Freaking incredible.
And just the amount of speed. This match started at 45, and I'm like, they're gonna do this match in 15 minutes, and boy, they fucking did it. They fucking spad ran that entire thing. Kenny Omega was speed running through Super Mario Brothers, baby.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things I want to point out timing on that final sequence. Kenny Omega hit the one-winged angel on Rey Fenix. He's on the ground after that. He pushes Rey Fenix out. He's on the ground, and Pac is already in midair with the black arrow to hit Kenny Omega. And Kenny Omega gets his knees up. The timing on that was flawless, right? If Kenny Omega is a 1/10 of a second too slow, or Pac is a 1/10 of a second too fast, or Rey Fenix doesn't roll out of the one-winged angel fast enough, or any of this stuff goes off, that whole sequence goes to shit. Because Kenny Omega doesn't get his knees up, then Pac hits the black arrow, and Kenny Omega can't just pop up from that. That's legitimately Pac's finisher, right?
Right.
So then, what do? You kind of have to have
Pac climb the ladder.
Climb the ladder, and then
Which would not hurt them by any means.
It would not. Maybe then you have Nick Jackson run in and stop Pac, and it goes on for a little bit. I don't know. Who really knows? But the timing was so impeccable. It was great.
You almost wonder what, because of the...
And 3 people were injured, too, on top of
that. One of the Jackson had a broken toe. I think Matt had a broken toe.
You almost wonder
I
if they
think
always have
Pac had a broken nose. I'm sure they do. You have to, just in case. You know what I mean? In that regard. I mean, these guys are all have worked together so many times, though. Bucks even mentioned in an interview that they trust the Lucha Brothers like with their life. When they go into the ring with them, it's like ultimate trust between those 4 guys because they've just worked with each other for so many years. And it shows in the ring. And that's why they did a speed run with this match with the injuries that they did. And it still looked as entertaining as ever. And I honestly, a lot of people were bitching about the best of 7, but I can honestly I think I can honestly say that out of all of these 7 matches, I saw something different in each one of them.
Well,
that's still
one.
They were smart in how they had the matches set up. That was very good. I would have preferred a tournament or something like that, just because from a standpoint of like a gauntlet style tournament where every week the Lucha Brothers have to face someone and the Elite have to face someone and they all have to win or whatever. Something like that. Just for variety.
Forever,
well, they could have done it in the same 7 weeks. You know what I mean?
that's fair.
8 weeks because they had
not
to...
like AEW doesn't write storylines to take 4 or 5 ever.
But they had 8 weeks to do it. They could have done the same 8 matches. It just, instead of it being all 8 matches against each other, it'd be 8 matches against other people. But it's fine. It still was. It was good. And each match, like you said, each match brought something new to the table.
It really did.
Real quick, go through a pack. Oscar.
I wasn't ready for that one. God damn.
Do drop in and see me sometime.
Who also? Oh, Jesus Christ! Who also will be back at the Rumble? She was dealing with an injury, an illness, actually. So, and hopefully she comes back as Piper Niven.
The most electrifying man in all of sports entertainment.
Funny that's a card you pulled up because my son is grounded right now.
Aww.
Get into that. So he can't.
I'm kind of interested.
So he can't watch Royal Rumble with me, which is, as we all know.
Oh my God, you're evil.
I know. And I told him I'm going to watch it, and you can't. And he said, I said, so that means you don't get to see John Cena wrestle. And he said, I don't think I'd want to see John Cena as much as I want to see The Rock. Like, well, we have Peacock, bud. Just wait till you're not grounded. We'll do a rockathon.
And then my chase card, a fearless Roman Reigns.
When has he seen The Rock? Does he know of? Like, has he seen old Attitude Rock?
Largest celebrities.
I mean, aside from the movies.
That's enough to.
Has he actually seen?
Here's the if your kid becomes a fan of an actor because he sees Shazam or Black Adam or whatever, although I can't imagine becoming a fan after watching that movie, but that's a different thing altogether.
That's bad.
Yeah. It's not good.
The Rock, it's not bad. It's just The Rock just looks bored the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, when the supporting actors are the best part of the film, you kind of didn't do a good job as the main one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I expected no such words, but his thing is usually campy comedy. So
the problem is, here's the deal. I think he wanted so badly to be the serious, like, badass in it that he forgot that he's also has to act. Like, he also has to emote, and he just kind of like strolled through it the entire time.
I get it. He's supposed to be like an old
candy ass stuff,
right? There was still little comical things, and I get he was supposed to be like a 5,000-year-old like god or whatever, and he certainly put that on really well as being a 5,000-year-old like god. But I mean, he just forgot to also then act a little.
Yeah. Well, here's a few things I do want to point out. This is what I will call a plot hole in that movie. Both the character of Dr. Fate and the character of Hawkman also have their roots in ancient Egypt, right? In fact, storyline-wise, Hawkman would have been there during the time that Black Adam existed in ancient Eden, right? Which means they all acted like, who is this person? Who is this person? You know, really, Hawkman should have been like, I remember him. And Dr. Fate would be like, the helmet has memory of him too, you know? Right. But anyways.
Pierce, by the way, phenomenal as Dr. Fate.
Always.
Absolutely phenomenal. No, I don't like Pierce.
We have a conversation about that particular actor being phenomenal?
We did at one point talk specifically about it, and
one of us said he wasn't, and the other two of us said he was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I hate Pearson a lot of things. I hated him as Bond. That's when we had the whole Bond talk and so on.
Okay, I'm muting you now. You don't talk.
Second best Bond.
Yeah, you don't talk smack about Pierce. I did not. I did.
There you are.
I just waited a little bit.
Needed. Work.
You seem to be breaking up, but maybe you should come on screen with your ridiculousness, so Pierce Brosnan can see who you are and beat the crap out of you later on. Are you having? You're not even making noise above him.
I'm not
Make some noise
it
above
now. This is the and
It's like a
me.
really bad connection on a cell phone call.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
Are we done?
Okay, we're done.
Verizon. There we go. Okay.
Can
you hear me now? Good.
Then we had Rampage. Started off with Darby Allin versus Juice Robinson, a fun match. I enjoyed it. Darby Allin won, hit the Scorpion Death Drop off the ropes, and then Coffin Drop.
That was badass.
Sting came out to celebrate with him.
Ooh, news on
again.
Sting.
I was
Planning
expecting
on renewing this.
Yeah, his contract ends sometime this year. I would assume towards the end of the year because he debuted in November. And so his contract would likely signed shortly thereafter.
Heartbreaking that he doesn't want to renew.
This is another one of those where I tried to go back and find the original news article, and the original news article just said no word yet on whether he's going to renew. He has stated that he knows he has a limited amount of time left in wrestling. He wants Darby Allin to be involved in his final match. He is currently partnered with Darby Allin. You can put two and two together and say, oh, that means that he wants to retire this year and all that stuff. But I mean, they can have Darby Allin involved with him for 3 years now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So as of right now, though, he does not have a contract that goes past the end of this year. But that doesn't mean he won't sign another contract. The one thing he has said is he's not really interested in just being a manager. Right. But he also knows that he doesn't have it in him to be like a singles wrestler anymore. So
right.
We'll see. I mean, in the end, he's a 63-year-old man. If he wants to retire, he'll retire. I'll miss him. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. I've got more Sting figures back here behind me than any other wrestler. But at the same point, wrestling's hard on the body, and he made it longer than most people do in wrestling, and he deserves to go out with a good run, which he did not get in WWE, and he was able to come back and make a run and hopefully go out on his own terms,
Hot take, WrestleMania 2024, Undertaker versus Sting. No?
No, I do not think. I do not think that would happen. I also do not think it could be All Out 2024, Undertaker versus Sting. For the same reasons, I think.
Well, you can only get Mean Mark Callis or Mark Calloway himself, or the...
He'd be the Mortician.
The Mortician.
The Mortician.
I'd pay money to have him come out as the Mortician in AEW. I'd buy a pay-per-view. That's what I would do.
We got a Rey Mysterio card.
Who's that jumping out the card?
With his child.
We got NXT UK's Wolfgang.
Oh, okay.
Also NXT UK, Mark Coffey. And Seth Rollins' gold card, which I do think is really funny because in this series the gold cards are actually more silver than gold. But anyways.
Okay, Yukon Cornelius, calm it down.
There's gold! Anyways.
No.
Yeah, the acclaimed came out about to cement their legacy and cement for Hollywood when Austin and Colton Gunn interrupted him and got pantsed and then butt first in the cement in a really silly segment.
Yeah, I will say that there was something about a particular wrestling team that used to be in WWE that it was so disrespectful to do a pantsing of them, um, or the ants in the pants where they took off their pants and crawled because of itch powder. I was not a huge fan of this for that reason.
I wasn't. I think the difference.
It's obviously their idea.
Well, and I think the difference is the Guns are foundationed in comedy, whereas FTR, or as they were in WWE, the Revival, were foundationed in we're serious wrestlers, right? So that plays off a little bit there. But no, it was a silly segment. I don't know. Whatever. It was a filler segment between the Darby Allin match and the Kings of the Black Throne versus Eddie Kingston and Ortiz.
So I'm guessing they're obviously telling the story that Ortiz is going to join.
They're teasing it pretty heavily, but it could just as easily be that House of Black are using him. They're setting him up as a fall guy. You know what I mean? Because they did this whole thing where Ortiz played a role in distracting inadvertently, and then Eddie Kingston got pinned after the Black Mass. And then Malachi Black looked at Ortiz and said, "You did good."
Wait, no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Yeah, continuing this whole, is he working with him? So
anyway. He never got blacklisted though, right?
They just never did not get blacklisted, as far as I know.
Which is what you do if you're evil guy recruiting somebody and they aren't playing for you. That's it. They are playing for you. Either way, that's what you say.
Mm-hmm. You had a kind of interesting segment with the recent Golden Globe winner Paul Walter Hauser,
right? Who
came out and talked about how he's been a lifelong wrestling fan, and all of that stuff. He said if I ever were to be a wrestler, I'd get in my car and I'd drive straight past Connecticut down to Jacksonville, Florida. And then he was interrupted by Danhausen first, who said that he was the top merchandise seller in all of AEW. And he wasn't given a physical award, so you should give me that, pointing to the Golden Globe. And then Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt came out and interrupted and tried to take the Golden Globe. They smashed the guitar over Paul Walter Hauser's head, who, I gotta be honest, I mean, even though these are gimmicked guitars, and Jeff Jarrett has literally 30 years of experience hitting people over the head with guitars, there's a lot that can go wrong with the guitar shot if not done right. You know what I mean? If you hit too far back where where there's still wood there instead of in the middle, it can cause some pretty serious cuts. And so, good on Paul Walter Hauser for just taking that shot like a champ.
Right.
And then you had Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends come out to the ring to even up the odds. And Sanjay Dutt and Jay Lethal stole the Golden Globe and ran away.
So I guess Paul Hauser is going to be going forward, going to be doing some stuff, I guess.
He'll probably do one or two more.
Golden Globe back.
Yeah, to get it. One or two more segments to do it. And then it was time for the main event, the street fight between Ruby Soho and Willow Nightingale versus Anna J.A.S. and Ty Mello. It's still hard for me to remember to call her Ty Mello instead of Ty Conti.
Right.
Started off with a really fun moment right at the beginning, though. Ruby Soho and Willow came out and they were wearing camo cargo pants.
Very Dudley Boy style.
And white shirts. And they attacked Anna Jay and Ty from behind. And then Ruby pushed Willow Nightingale right on the shoulders and said, "Willow, get the tables!" Just like the Dudley boys. And then the only thing that kind of was interesting to me is this wasn't technically a lights out match. It was a street fight. So it still had rules, I guess. Anyways, it was a brutal match. It was like right up there with the one from a year ago and one from 2 years ago. It seems like about once a year they're like, "Hey, women, it's your turn to get out there and bleed all over the place."
That's it. Yeah.
Ruby Soho's.
Yeah, Ruby just started bleeding like right away. Jesus.
Like, oh my god.
Well, she was inside a garbage can, and then both Anna Jay and Ty stomped on it. So apparently, there's something sharp on the inside of that garbage. I mean, I don't know many garbage cans that have sharp stuff on the inside of them, but you know.
Well, I mean, if they break, or you know,
yeah. Maybe someone had already thrown away like a bottle in that garbage can. Or a razor blade.
They never razor blade.
A single razor blade.
They never really
I mean, that would make sense. She was bleeding
if it's
profusely.
a used garbage can or not.
Yeah. Just one single in fact, it was probably like someone tried to be
Stuck to the side.
Someone probably tried to be really nice and like wrapped a bunch of it in tape, but just missed just one little bit of it accidentally. Just one single razor blade. With a corner exposed, thrown away. Just happened to be in there. But yeah, Ruby bled like a flare. But in the end, Anna tried to do the Queen Slayer with the barbed wire on Willow, but Willow was just a bit too big and strong, and picked her up and put her back in the corner, and then Ruby beat her over the head with a chain-wrapped fist, which made me surprised that Anna Jay didn't start bleeding like a stuck pig.
Right. Yeah.
Ty decided it was time to pull out the thumbtacks, which I think now in the 2 street fights she's been involved in, she was the one who brought out the thumbtacks each time, so I guess we've got the start of a gimmick there for her. But it did not work out in her favor, those thumbtacks.
Nope.
They kinda got right in her. First
Speaking
thrown
of
at her.
Nightingale, did you guys see the AEW with her?
I didn't get to watch that one.
That's fantastic.
I'm behind on my
still,
AEW.
Whether you like it or not, and there's been really good ones. The first Danhausen is obviously the bar, but Jade Cargill is fantastic.
Jade Cargill's one was good. I'm a little behind. I've seen clips of the Soraya one.
That's also really great.
Where
you're a wrestler?
She actually is surprised to find out that RJ City is actually a wrestler. In addition to this, she seems like she literally is finding that out right in that moment. But yeah, so a brutal match to end it. So a fun night of Rampage, fun week of professional wrestling just as a whole, with a whole bunch of crazy news and speculation in the middle of it.
Yeah, certainly.
What went on the television programs was fantastic. There was what, 3 spots where we said something wasn't all that great.
Yep, about 3.
And that's not counting the Danielson, which I just think needed more build, as I said. So.
Well, we're almost to the end of the night, but I did want to just take a moment to mention again that we are sponsored. This episode, the episodes last week or so, have all been sponsored by Factor. You can see it up above my head here. It's been going on all night.
That looks delicious.
With all the food from Factor. We've had 3 orders so far. If you go to factor75.com, use that code showing up there, get 60% off your first box. I want to show you one of those 3 orders. Full disclosure, is my order. My personal order for Factor. And I want to show you what we picked out for Factor to be in our box. That'll be shipping here. We got the 8-meal box. That's enough for 4 for each, myself and my wife. We also got a bunch of add-ons, right? So we chose this Louisiana shrimp. Let's actually get back to the beginning, though. This chimichurri filet mignon. Look at that. Look at that, right? We also got this creamy Dijon pork tenderloin. Got that Louisiana Cajun shrimp. Got the green chili chicken. Roasted garlic braised beef.
If I'm gonna guess these, hold on. I want to because I'm of the two of us, I'm the one that knows.
I forgot this barbecue sloppy Joe pork.
So I'm gonna say that the Parmesan chicken. You only got one of those, so I'm gonna say that is your wife's.
You are actually wrong. That is me.
It's you. Okay. I'm gonna say this barbecue sloppy Joe is you.
That is indeed me. Yep.
Chimichurri filet mignon. Obviously, you're each having one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Dijon pork tenderloin. Is that your wife?
Nope, that would be me. My wife isn't huge on pork, so.
Okay, so she's doing the shrimp.
Shrimp.
She likes green chili.
She wanted to try this. The only thing she's a little worried about, she's not huge into cheese and queso. She's not big on cheese, and this has a queso base to it that she's gonna try.
Though she doesn't have to have that.
Mm-hmm.
And you would love to add cheese to your something. And then the braised beef is her.
In the end, we're gonna kind of play it by ear which ones we end up choosing, but for the most part, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Those chicken wings are you, though.
Those chicken wings are definitely me. These are the add-ons we chose. Most of the add-ons are actually me, right? Smoky bacon and cheddar egg bites. That's my going to be my breakfast I take to work that week. Barbecue chicken wings are definitely me.
I feel like she's the shakes.
The shakes are kind of both of us. We're both trying to eat a little healthier, just in general. And shakes are a great way to be a little healthier and have a grab and go sort of thing. So,
those wings are going to get eaten at the Royal Rumble.
But those wings are definitely mine.
How many wings in that pack? 8?
It says 2 servings. Let's see if it brings it up here.
So it's just you and 12 of them.
Yeah. 4 servings per container. Excuse me, 4 servings. Right. Still probably all me, but
It's 1,000 right there.
But
those look wonderful.
They look wonderful, and the interesting thing is, like we said before, these things are all pre-cooked. Just heat and go. But I'm a big believer in air fryers. Anything chicken wing in an air fryer is fantastic.
Is it really? I don't own an air fryer. Maybe I need to get one.
You should get one. Air fryers are phenomenal.
Maybe we need a sponsor that's air fryers.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Talking to you, KitchenAid, I'd also upgrade my mixer. I have a KitchenAid, but I would
or Ninja.
Ninja, that's also a brand I would use.
Power XL. That's my air fryer is a Power XL.
And Hamilton Beach, you guys can kiss our ass. Don't come on here.
Yeah.
Sponsor us.
Hoity-toity Hamilton Beach.
Their stuff sucks. Those are tasty too.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with bacon, cheddar, and egg, right?
4 egg bites per order.
Yeah. I mean, $12 for 4 egg bites. That's about right with the price of eggs right now.
For a meal. And then is that?
So that's just you get those 4, or there's 4 servings?
420 calories.
You get 4 total, right?
So it's just one serving.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I'd probably break it up. It would probably be 2 breakfasts for me, 2 in each one.
That's what it is from Dunkin', the same size of stuff.
Here's the keto shakes here.
Wow, the fat content's fantastic in those for keto.
Yep.
Boy, I bet you could stay full for like 4 or 5 hours off those.
Yeah, we got the chocolate brownie. They also have vanilla and key lime pie.
Oh.
And 2 net carbs is all. Wow, fantastic. Well, I need to know how good those taste, because I would happily change to a keto shake to get rid of my making a normal shake a keto shake.
Here's that creamy Parmesan chicken with broccoli and tomatoes.
Are you guys going full keto on these?
No, most of them were not keto. There were just a few keto in there.
Say, I didn't know you were joining the club, bud.
To be honest, the thing that hurts keto for me the most is I'm a big potato guy. I'm like 70% Irish.
Hey, bud, don't talk about your body shape like that. Whoa!
Hey-o! And so anytime I see one of these things where they're like, oh yeah, we put it on a mashed cauliflower, I'm like, fuck off with that.
Rice cauliflower can be good if it's made stir fry. That's about it.
The thing with it is I like cauliflower. I do. I don't like cauliflower pretending to be something else. Just give me cauliflower. Right?
So you would be upset if somebody offered you cauliflower wings.
I probably would be. I mean, but here's the deal is, you can batter dip and fry cauliflower and it's wonderful, right? Mm-hmm. You could do a rub on cauliflower and fry it and it'd be wonderful. You just don't try to call it chicken wings, with cauliflower. Just let it be deep fried cauliflower. Here's the Sloppy Joe. Sarah might take this one, even though Sloppy Joe isn't her favorite thing, because she loves sweet potato. To have a chipotle sweet potato mash underneath it. And only 480 calories.
Well, she obviously didn't hate the spicy, which is a blessing. Mm-hmm. My significant does not like spicy.
Yeah. The chimichurri filet mignon with herby potatoes, zucchini, and roasted peppers. I'm not huge in zucchini like you, but those herby potatoes down there, those win me over. Plus, I can just think of myself here, frankly, sitting at the break room at lunch while everyone's eating their, Hot Pockets and
Deli Express sandwich and Hot Pockets.
Sandwich, and me pulling out filet mignon. Yes. I figured I'd mix it up with the locals today. Celery root cauliflower mash. I'm like, oh, come on. I'm going to eat it. I'm sure it's fine.
Who knows? Maybe it'll taste just like instant potatoes.
There will be no bad-mouthing instant potatoes for me.
I will never, ever talk bad about instant potatoes. I get frustrated with people who are like, oh, real ones are so much better. I'm like, for the work? No, they're not.
For the work?
They aren't. They aren't better. You can have them pre-flavored that are fantastic flavors. Like, Now, I don't eat potatoes, though, so you know this from my keto. Mm-hmm. But I will fight somebody who wants me to make potatoes. Like, okay, let me get out the Oritas. Boy.
Bold Creole flavors adorn tonight's Southern-inspired seafood dish. Wild-cut shrimp are coated in blackened season, roasted until tender, and served over buttery cauliflower rice, simmered with smoked Gouda, cream cheese, and
It
garlic.
says grits. It doesn't say cauliflower rice.
It says in the thing here,
Oh,
rice.
down below.
Yeah, buttery cauliflower rice. All cloaked in a luscious andouille chicken sausage gravy, made with onion, celery, green bell peppers, and heavy cream. To even out all these rich flavors, there's a side of simply roasted broccoli flore.
Hey, finally, just simply
I
roasted
love
broccoli.
I
Yeah,
love
broccoli's great.
It's like the best good vegetable.
You know what's great about broccoli?
Exactly, that's fair point.
It's cabbage. You know what's great about cauliflower? It's cabbage.
It's in the cabbage family, but broccoli.
It's in
They're
the
all
cabbage
cabbage.
family.
They all were made from cabbage. They took cabbage and they crossbred it to selectively bred it to become cauliflower. They selectively bred it.
Are you supporting genetically modified organisms right now?
Yeah, because almost everything we eat is GMO in some way or another.
Yeah,
It just
I'm not
is.
a fan of the crazy GMO blow up. I'm just like, why?
Have you seen a non-genetically modified banana
Watermelon
or watermelon?
Yeah.
A,
I
they're
would take
nightmare fuel.
hybriding in a heartbeat.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I don't think I have. Let me.
GMO watermelon looks like it'd be different. Like, what's the fruit that just reeks and you tear it apart and you take the fruit inside?
Durian.
Durian fruit, yes. That's what GMO or non-GMO watermelon looks like. It's just why? No, I don't want this.
Anyways, that I wanted to just walk through my order so that you could see exactly what I'm getting, what you could get to if you click the link below or go to gofactor75.com and enter Factor SE 13652 for 60% off your first box. But yeah. And now, right now, I'm also on a webpage looking at. We are 2 days away from pre-sale for WWE SmackDown in Lincoln, Nebraska, in April.
Is this a suggestion to me, my friend? Because I ain't doing ringside again.
I'm not necessarily saying anything. I might buy tickets myself. Here's the deal. I'm torn because I don't want to buy tickets and then WWE sells to Saudi Arabia and then I don't go. But at the same point, I want to go if they're not sold to Saudi Arabia.
Especially right after WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, whatever. You can always sell it afterwards, if anything, if that ends up happening. But, you know. This is after Mania, though. I feel like you're fine. I don't think a sale is going to happen until, like, after Mania anyways.
See,
but again, you never know. I know.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure it won't be hard to sell your tickets either. You know what I mean? Like,
let's see. It's going to be a full week after Mania. So it's not going to be the first comeback show.
And this is SmackDown?
SmackDown. It's Friday night.
But I'm gonna say this once and only once. Do you want to be at the first? It's the first SmackDown after Mania.
No, second.
Second. Do you want to be at the second SmackDown after Mania with Cody Rhodes as the world champion?
There's a chance for that. There's also a chance that he's the Raw champion and not at SmackDown.
This is valid.
In fact,
I don't like your blasphemous words.
I think it's very likely that he is. Now, he might be the SmackDown champion. There's a chance there, too. But I think it's very likely he is a single champ, not a champ.
No, I don't think he's a double champ.
So
right.
I would love to see Cody Rhodes live. I really remember one of the things one of the reasons I bought the tickets where we did and placed the kid that was with us where I did was because the potential for Cody Rhodes to take off his belt and give it to that kid standing next to the walkway.
Yep.
Adrenaline in my soul.
In my soul.
Something, Cody Rhodes.
Golly, now I'm thinking maybe I am going to spend $1,500 again.
Oh my god. Well, he'll definitely be back. I just don't know if he'll be on SmackDown.
Shouldn't be that much. We don't have to get quite that good of tickets.
Well, I mean, yeah. When do they go on sale?
They have that belt.
When do they go
Pre-sale
on sale?
starts in 2 days.
Okay. Definitely check the pre-sale price though, because it's definitely going to be cheaper than what it is afterwards.
Yeah.
Because Elimination Chamber, the SmackDown Elimination Chamber duo combo set, so much cheaper. I got them both $500. And now Elimination Chamber on its own where I am is like $700, and SmackDown is like $300. So
yeah, but
you're gonna definitely get a.
We were entry ramp. That's why
Yeah.
Oh no! I know for sure, but it's still the pre-sale is still gonna be heck of a lot cheaper. So
I'm just going a few weeks back. I'm trying to find a similar sized arena for a SmackDown in a previous week to it. Not Los Angeles. Well, here. This is a Raw in St. Louis, Missouri. So that's a similar size arena. There are plenty of seats still available.
This is Lincoln, you said, right?
This is St. Louis, Missouri, because they don't have.
No, but the one we got is
going to be in Lincoln.
Pinnacle Bank.
Pinnacle Bank, yes.
Owned by my boss.
Jeez.
I wonder if I can leverage that. Hey.
Yeah, you might be able to.
Well, you might have a skybox.
I can almost guarantee he has a skybox.
Yeah,
but he sits courtside for the Husker games. So.
Oh damn. Okay.
That's my real life boss. That's not my That's not like the mayor of the town that I did the DA at.
No, I figured.
So right now and I don't know if the Enterprise Center is close in terms of size to Pinnacle Bank or not. And this, of course, is a Raw versus a SmackDown. Regular seats on entryway are going for $475. Those are the official platinum level seats.
It's ringside.
There are not currently any exact ringside seats available, but there are the ringsider package seats that are $600 plus fees. Those are the ones that come with the folding chair and shit like that.
If we each paid for our own, we could probably pull that off.
And there's a chance we might be able to each pay for our own. Especially if people go to gofactor.com and use the code FACTOR SE13652 and get 60% off your first box.
If you guys fill up that 12, I can tell you we'll be at that SmackDown. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yes.
Yeah, and
9 to go.
Your venue in Lincoln there holds 15,000 for boxing. So wrestling is probably going to be a little bit lower.
Mm-hmm. Because the entry ramp's bigger and the display.
Yeah.
They cut off that whole wall that you could seat people at. It's probably 9,000. which is about double the size of the one closest to me. Could hold. They could.
Oh snap! Okay, fair.
I am really confused right now. I'm just on Ticketmaster and I'm looking, and on the 27th, 2 weeks, right? Friday the 27th, they've got 2 shows showing on here, a 6:45 and an 8:30.
For what?
WWE?
For WWE. One in San Antonio, Texas, and one in Laredo, Texas.
Both SmackDown brand? One's probably a Raw.
Yeah, it could be Raw and SmackDown or something. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm trying to think and trying to see here. The one of them starts at 8:30, so that's too late for it to be
Actual SmackDown.
Actual SmackDown.
Might be main event.
Well, no, but that's Friday. Then what the fuck are they doing?
Oh!
It's got to be like a Raw or something.
Oh, no, that's what it is. It's not an actual wrestling thing. It's the Undertaker One Dead Man show.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
In Laredo?
Which is also stupidly expensive.
Yeah.
For like VIP
I don't know.
tickets, like $400.
Yeah, but a regular ticket's only
rows.
about $80.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess for you guys, for
So
us,
go
it's
in the ring and
like
cut promos or what?
This one, it's a stage show, so it's set up, and that's why it's not at the thing. It's at a different one. So there's a stage, and then front row seats, middle row seats, back row seat. You know what I mean? Just a regular old stage.
Taker's just basically going to be talking about his life and whatever, and tell you stories. The good, the bad, and the
Boy,
ugly.
it sure would be nice
business.
if AEW came somewhere near us.
They were in Kansas City. We didn't go, bud.
They were in Kansas City. Kansas City's close, and I'm not arguing that, but
it can't be during
not close enough.
I mean, here's the deal. I understand if they're like, I don't know if we're ready for Pinnacle Bank Arena. 15,000 seats for a Dynamite might be more than they want to do. But here in Omaha, we have Baxter Arena, which
like 7,000.
Yeah, 7,000. Which if you
Grand Island 7,000.
Yeah. Independence, Missouri. St. Louis, Missouri. Not stupid far away, but too far for me to.
Independence isn't bad.
They're going to be in Phoenix, Arizona in February. Doesn't do anything for you, but I have in-laws out in that area, so.
As I say, I can get cheap flights to there, but it's better.
Yeah. But let's see. Oh, there are currently 2 seats available near the entrance ramp, right, in the area that we have. They're really good seats. They better be at $1,800 per seat.
Oh my!
AEW?
For AEW?
For AEW.
Oh my god!
Now I am willing to bet that this is a broker. Not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not like the legit.
Not the official. Now there are some
From the
slightly
venue.
less nice seat that are only $11.25 per.
Oh, that's such a deal.
Yeah, so much more affordable. I am going to point out right now, though, that this arena is pretty sold out. So any seats that are worth their shit are.
Yeah, those are definitely
stupid
post sale.
expensive.
Those are yeah.
But
Resale, rather, not
AEW
post-sale.
hasn't really gone west that much yet.
Yeah. They've here's the deal. They haven't done West very much, and they haven't done Northern Midwest very much.
No. Other than Chicago.
Where are those seats? Right there.
In Minneapolis being the wrestling town that it is, I'm astonished they haven't done Minneapolis yet. It's Vern Gagne country, bud.
Anyways, But that's enough talking about wrestling that isn't going to be happening for a few months. Let me show you the last cards that I pulled, and then we'll close things up. We have Madcap Moss.
Madcap.
All right. I don't think you've had him yet.
I do not know. We have Wesley.
Okay.
We have China.
Oh, nice. That's a keeper.
And we have a prismatic one. That's not a prismatic entrance, just a prismatic one. But I think it's actually a duplicate prismatic one of Ivy Nile. I think I already have a prismatic version of Ivy Nile. Son of a bitch. Well, that's going to be in the duplicates for whoever wins if we can get to 10 new subscribers.
10.
Perfect 10.
Perfect 10. Perfect 10 subscribers.
Perfection. Anyways.
Perfect 10.
On that note, though, we are going to go ahead and wrap things up for this episode. We had some fun stuff happen this week in wrestling. Hopefully this coming week will be all sorts of fun and a little bit less of the speculative drama. I would like a little bit less speculative drama.
Here's to hoping.
I mean, there are heads that are going to talk, but I just want to be so overwhelmed. Another week like this week in wrestling, and I'll be as overwhelmed
give
by
me
the wrestling to not talk about it so long as there isn't an actual sale.
Yeah. Well, that's the deal. I mean, ultimately, here's the deal. We know they're pursuing a sale. We know they're pursuing a sale fast. They hired JP Morgan
and some other
to facilitate the sale and all that stuff. They're trying to do it relatively fast. I don't need the speculation, right? Here's the deal. We know there are lots of people who are interested. You'd be stupid to not be.
Right.
If you had the money and you're a competitor to WWE, you'd be stupid to not want to do it. I don't think it's the right move for Tony Khan to do, but he would be stupid to not want to do it, you know? I think Disney and Universal are both really high on the list of potentials and very good spots for it to land.
I do believe that they are not in the $8 million category.
I suspicion,
or $8 billion. Sorry, billion.
Yeah. Here's the deal: I think we really didn't get to talk about this. I think WWE did take a hit on their sales number this week. I can't remember what the company was that did it. Apparently, they did this analysis a while ago, but it's been kept under wraps, right? But they
Fox's thing?
Yeah, the Fox deal, right? And all things considered, basically they're saying in terms of income revenue from the deal, WWE is only providing about $50 million worth of income per year, despite Fox paying around $200 million per year for it. So they're losing about $150 million in terms of revenue. Now, it is worth pointing out that
they also overpaid as well. So.
Well, A, they overpaid, but B, there's a value to it past just revenue income, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they're going to have merch and live shows.
Even more than that, it comes down to this, right? It fills a time slot that's hard for them to fill, right?
Yes.
And it gets relatively good ratings for that time slot. Not as good as I think they hoped it would have. I think they were hoping for 4 to 5 million a week, and they're getting about 2, right?
Wrestling just does not get right
now. But it's a Friday night slot that TV shows don't like to go on because it's the death slot for for scripted TV shows. And Fox has to have something there, right? And so
Paid advertisement.
Yeah. If they don't have something there, then they have a big problem.
Billy Mays here for
Yeah, they play an
Alive.
infomercial. Yeah, that's not exactly a good option for Friday night. So they got to have something there. And while yes, it does not get the ratings, it does not get the income that like Sunday Night Football gets them. Like 12 million people watched Sunday Night Football when it was on Fox, right? Doesn't get that sort of ratings. It does get better ratings than a rerun of Everyone Loves Raymond, you know.
How dare you?
Or
That show still rules.
I'm not. This isn't a comment on that
No,
show.
I know.
This is a comment on how the fact that a rerun of Everybody Loves Raymond or a rerun of Home Improvement or a rerun of Friends even
Or
doesn't get.
even versus rerun. Say they have another television show, then you're going up against an ABC that has just dominated Sunday nights in the sitcom category, and dominated Friday nights in the sitcom category for ages. ABC Disney has just owned those two nights in the sitcom category, and so okay, well, what do you do? I mean, do you try to compete with those? No, you got to have something different.
Oh, here was a outlier in the potential for buying. God, I'm totally blanking on the name of the group. Give me 1 second. Endeavor Group Holdings. That was on the list of potential. Company. That's the company that owns UFC. I think they're down the list. I do not think they're at the top.
I don't think Dana has any interest in it at all.
Well, Dana doesn't own it. The Endeavor Group Holdings now owns it. And so was sold for $4 billion to Endeavor Group Holdings. Dana White no longer.
He made out like a champ. He bought that for like $120,000, man.
And so Endeavor Group could now. Dana White took that money and went off to start slap fighting. And then he slap fighted his wife. And
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Oh, man.
I was okay, and I get it. I get why they did it, but man, I wanted to watch that. I was so intrigued, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
Nah, you can still find it. Here's the deal: is he didn't create the league; he bought the league and was taking it. But you can find slap. I mean, it's been around for a while. Slap fighting has been. You can find it on YouTube or.
Oh no, that's
Daily
fair.
Motion.
But as a whole competition as the thing, but I guess fine, yeah. Like that one itself was just a him created one, but the actual sport, yeah, for sure, it's been around.
Well, no, he bought an established slap fighting league.
Oh, okay.
And then rebranded it and was taking it nationwide. It was, you know.
Oh, okay.
Awkward fucking league, man.
Stand there and I'm going to slap you in the face, and then I'm going to let you slap me in the face. And we're going to keep doing that until one of us doesn't want to be slapped in the face anymore.
Right.
I sat and watched it for like 4 hours one day.
There you go. 4 hours though? Fuck.
I was just like, well, I gotta see what the main event is. Holy cow, these guys are slapping each other. Like it's akin to coming across the steel chainsaw championships and the lumberjack championships. Man, when you come across those, you don't know. Ain't nobody got them on their schedule, but when you come across it, you're just like, well, I have to watch, don't I? Or World's Strongest Man competitions, Magnus for Magnuson.
Half Thor Magnuson. Half Thor Odinson. That's the one. Your name is Half Thor? Yes. Anyways,
Is
but
this
on that
from a
note,
movie or something? Am I missing something here?
Hathor Bjornsson, I think his name. He was the guy who played the Mountain on Game of Thrones, but he's also legitimately one of the
World's Strongest Men competitors. And that World's Strongest Man. Not weightlifting Mark Henry's Strongest Man.
Hathor Bjornsson.
Hathor.
Yeah, his name is Hathor.
What a name.
From Iceland. Yeah, you name your kid Hathor, he's got to be strong, or else he's
gonna get fucking bullied for the rest of his life.
and beat up.
Hey,
Let's see. Sixth place in the 2011 World's Strongest Man competition. Third place in the 2012. Third place in 2013. Second place in 2014. Third place in 2015. Second place in 2016, second place in 2017, first place in 2018, third place in 2019. Also, Arnold Strongman Classic, second in 2017, and then first in 18, 19, and 2020. Europe's Strongest Man, first place in 2014, 15, 17, 18, and 19, second place in 2016. Giants Live, a Grand Prix of 12 international strongmen to compete over 6 events. First place in 2014, 2015. First place in 2018's World Ultimate Strongman. Strongman Championships League. First place in 2013, 14 Serbia, 14 Finland, 14 Netherlands, 14 Malaysia, 15 Norway, 15 Bulgaria, and 15 Croatia. Arnold Pro Strongman World Series, third place in 2014, first place in 16 Australia, 16 Brazil, 16 South Africa, and 2017's Force de Warwick. He's been rated Iceland's Strongest Man from 2011 through 2020. Apparently he hasn't done it recently. And do you know why? Because he decided to go into boxing.
Oh my god.
Why would you want to get hit in the face instead of World's Strongest Man stuff?
Well, I mean, I feel like his punch
Or,
would be pretty fucking heavy.
He ended up having a match in March 2020 against Eddie Hall in Dubai, which he won in the 6th round by unanimous decision after bludgeoning Eddie Hall all over the face.
The guy who sang Power of Love.
No, that was Eddie Money.
I don't even think that was anybody.
No, it wasn't. It was actually
oh my god. Hit to be square.
Yeah. Oh fuck! I'm gonna lose my '80s card here. Huey Lewis in the News. There we go.
That's what it is. Love me some Huey Lewis in the News. Not enough to remember who they are, but
Like, I'm tired of being the strongest man. I want to beat up people. Okay, here you go. He's had 4 matches, 2 of them ended in draws, and the other 2 he won.
I think I've just gone after more acting roles, man. Like, there's better pay and less injury.
Yeah.
Well, that's
straight up.
he's literally just built different.
Dude, that's legit.
And I say literally built different. He is 6'9".
Oh shit.
Literally a mountain of a man.
Which helps in the World's Strongest Man competitions. That height helps significantly on the caper stones or the stones or whatever it's called.
Yeah. when he was competing in the Strongest Man, he was listed as his weight range from 397 to 463 pounds.
This guy's a beast.
Yes. What's really funny is
young warthog. Sorry.
Yeah, he'd be great in movies though. Like he could make a villain like nobody's business. His acting skills might not be that great, but
I'm gonna show you a really fun picture. I love this picture so much.
Weird shit we talk about after the show's over that we're still recording.
show ain't over yet. Let's go.
This picture always cracks me up. This is Hafthor Bjornsson and his wife.
Oh my
Look at
god.
her.
Jesus.
Look at her. She's up to his armpits. That's it.
She also happens to be 6 foot tall and 107
Yeah. Thing is,
pounds.
I am sure she is relatively tall. You know what I mean?
For a woman, yeah.
For a woman. Kelsey Henson.
Just like average height for a man. It's crazy.
Let's see if I can find
That's
a height
wild.
for her.
You could find the outro.
She's actually short even for a woman. She's 5'2".
Oh, 4. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, but she's reaching his armpit.
Oh, but she must have some heels on.
Man, have some heels on. I don't know.
Well,
She's
she's
One thing
also
that
slightly
man never has is
bending.
a fuzzy navel. She's just like, oh no, your belly button has some weight.
yeah. It's right there. I mean, if he ever has a stuck zipper, she doesn't even have to bend down to help him with it.
No, she has to lift her arms up to do it.
Yeah. Like, here, let me help you with that.
That was not a dig at the romantic point of this.
No.
That being said, I'm also gonna say, fucking, she's a looker, right? I mean, he's not bad looking himself, right?
For an enormous human being.
But criminally. Anyways,
Yeah, she's a beaut.
but on that note, we're gonna finally end this. We're done. The ADHD is over.
Perfect.
As
Oh, look, a squirrel.
over here. But yes, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you enjoy what we're doing, you can head over to Factor, support us that way. You get 60% off your first box. Link is in the doobly-doos or on the About page on Twitch, so you can go there. Save yourself some money and help us out that way. Otherwise, you can help us out by giving us a subscribe. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you can subscribe to us for absolutely free. Otherwise, just like $4 a month, helps us out a ton. You can also support us by going to our merch store and picking up merch like the autograph shirt or one of the mini designs. We actually have 2 merch stores. Links are both in the doobly-doos. And I'm still working on the new design. I had a version of it that I'd presented to you guys, and it's not quite what I pictured in my head, so I'm trying to rework it to be more like what I pictured in my head. But that requires a little bit more hand drawing than I've had time to do right now. So, but now that the holidays are all over, everything's slowing down, I should be able to get some more work on it. Anyways, but that will be up soon. But there's all sorts of fun stuff in our merch stores, that you can check out. And yeah, so that's a great way to support us. But also a great way to support us is just sharing this with your friends and saying, hey guys, I enjoy this. You should check it out too. I think you'd enjoy it. Put it up on your social medias and your TikToks and your Twitters and stuff. Let people know about us. That's a great way. You can also follow us on the social medias. You can follow me at Raw and Order WBU. That's on Twitter. That's on TikTok. That's on Twitch. That's on
Some
YouTube.
really fun TikToks recently.
I've been having fun with the AI filter and pictures of professional wrestlers. I still have to do the voiceover for a Macho Man one because I think that was really funny.
You must use a voice filter on those.
I do use a voice filter because those are really funny too. But so you can check that out at Raw and Order. The only difference is if you go to Facebook, it's at Pissant Podcast for weird reasons that aren't worth going into. You can follow DA Fabe at
DA Vincent K Fabe right there. On Twitter only. Also, keep in mind that one of the best ways to support us is that Factor subscription. That is a changer for you and a changer for us. So, interesting note. There's every possibility that Half-Son uses Factor for his diet. Probably eats 6 of those meals in one sitting. But
I'm sure. In terms of calorie intake, carb intake is
4 or 5
pretty up there usually. So you can follow JLB at
twitch.tv/JLBTLC25 where I play video games. Yep, that's what I do. I do.
You can also
go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish.
I was just gonna say you can follow me on the Twitters, the Facebooks, and the Instagrams down below, and they do play dudes as well.
Awesome. And then you mentioning playing video games. I have been playing video games in some of my free time on Twitch as well. So if you follow us or subscribe to us, you do get to watch me suck at Skyrim.
Hey.
Because I'm not great. I'm not gonna lie.
The title he puts on it.
It's literally in the description. I say, "Come watch me suck." But I really enjoy that game. That game's so fun. It's 12 years old now, and still tons of fun. But I also would like to show the thing that I recently purchased from a local used game store.
You'll have to bring yourself back up on screen.
Yeah.
Here, I'll do that.
I was like, hey, it's
I'm
me.
gonna. I was getting this ready before I did it. Another thing that I purchased at a local used game store that I will hopefully be streaming on Twitch at some point here soon. I will probably suck at it as well. But I don't need no WWE 2K22 when I can play WWE 2K16 for $6. $6 is all I had to pay for it. $6. If I'd have been a member, I could have saved myself like 60 cents. I am not a member.
Nice. Speaking of which, rumors are that WWE 2K23 will be announced at the Royal Rumble. So you wrestling video game fans, get ready for that.
Check it out. I didn't know this. It came with a Stone Cold card. Stone Cold! Stone Cold! Stone Cold!
Nice.
That's worth the $5.99
altogether.
right there.
Yeah, exactly.
But on that note, we're going to go ahead and close the book on the Wrestling Booking Unit. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you soon.
Deuces.
Bye.